what Danny was about to talk about was the immigrant situation, right? Which really is.
No, I was talking about your mom and how she likes the whips.
Oh, yeah. So my mom, I come home, my stepdad, he's got ball gags in. Oh,
Oh, right. I thought you were in America.
He pulls the American flag ball gag out of his mouth. Yeah, my mom comes crawling out on all fours.
Oh, Ryan, you're home early.
Danny walks out of the bathroom. Oh,
Whoa.
Ryan, you're home early.
You were supposed to be in America.
My dad and my two brothers walk out of the bathroom. Oh, Ryan. We all thought, in unison, we thought you were in America. But so basically the immigrant situation on the border, it legitimately is a fucking real humanitarian crisis.
It's insane.
Right?
And again, if like totally understandable. And like, if I fucking lived in Haiti, I would, it's crazy too, because I remember like, I was like, wait, like just based on geography, you go like, Haiti's here and they're coming in through Texas. And then, but it turns out, I guess they're flying in. So what's happening is, what's happening? They're flying into Ecuador from Haiti, and then they're making that trek up. Because I was like, at first I was like, Haitians. I'm like, that didn't even make sense to me. But then it's because they're fucking Haiti is like a absolute mess.
Yeah.
And yeah, so anyways.
Well, to me, the thing we were about to talk about was they're saying the people are all whipping the immigrants or whatever, and they don't have whips, they have reins on their horses.
It reins on their horses.
Yeah.
Yes.
And every big person, like, Sean King, all these people, and it kind of is what we're saying before, where they live in a world where this is what I've been telling people. Like, they're not walking around like going into groups of people on a horse and like whipping them. That's just like not happening.
And I will say, for one, I was saying on Twitter, like I wanted to, but he's not private on Twitter, because Sean King goes, I want names, and I just wanted to reply being like, it's Harry Trotter.
Yeah, the names of the immigrant.
of the horse.
Oh, the horse.
He goes, I want names. He goes, Harry Trotter.
But the thing that I was kind of thinking about when I was going through this whole story is it's so easy when you look at like an immigrant catastrophe, right? Where you have people pouring in. It's so easy for people to, kind of take like a simple side where they go, well, we should just let them in, or the other side of like, it's easier to close the thing or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. To me, looking at people's reactions whenever there's an illegal immigrant fiasco.
Ryan, no person's illegal.
That's true. I'm sorry. Whenever there is a crisis at the border
I saw that on a t-shirt somewhere.
Yeah. But you go, well, the people in my basement are illegal. It reminded me, it always kind of makes me think that why people aren't good at running companies. And it was like, every person really operates where they operate like children, where they just want to be able to complain to their parents but have to make no decisions ever. Mm-hmm. And it was like, if you look at everyone what they're saying, like 3 things in, you go, okay, so people will go, well, they should just let everyone in. It's like, okay, well, if you did that, you'd have, the population would double in the next month. So It's like, what number do you think of people that should let in? Okay, so what should they do if they don't come in? It's like, no one can live with any of the consequences of their own proposals. And you go, okay, well, also, if you're going to let double the population, well, then everyone would have to pay double the taxes, obviously.
Also, there's real infrastructure constraints.
Obviously, it's like, okay, so what if they all come in and now they're homeless? Would that be okay for you? Well, they shouldn't be homeless. It's like, everything is just, we'll solve it. It's like everyone wants to just like make more problems and then be like, hey, solve these problems. And there is a lot of people that are kind of like, well, don't have any, border control, and then encourage people to come in. And then when they come in, it's these nightmares, and they go, well, look at this is bad. And it's like, well, yeah, you need to have some like reasonable policies. And on top of that, there is going to be a certain level of people are always there. It's not going to be zero ever. So it's like some degree there is this stuff.
And more importantly, because a lot of people, there's one thing if you're an American and you go, hey, this is how I think America should be governed. But like people who don't live in America, who are like, yeah, America should just and you're like, America's like, every sovereign country has the right to like, choose their like immigration policies and their border policies. Like you can't just be like, hey, this is what you need to do because you're America. Like you can't just decide for another country. Like every country gets to decide.
Yeah, exactly. So that's obvious.
Yeah.
And
not to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, that's my point. Yeah, I don't think it was. I'm not calling what you just said obvious. I'm more saying that like it's like yeah, no shit. And so people don't want it. They just want to kind of like live in these worlds where they can't live with the consequences of their own perspective.
Yeah.
Which is why if you ever watch how many people we know like run companies or whatever, right? And the minute they do, it's like, well, everyone should get $1 million. And it's like, you see those are the same people that they can't afford to even pay their people a living wage because they made some stupid ideological thing somewhere else. It's like, well, I don't think we should charge the customers. It's like, well, now you don't have enough to pay your employees. So your employees are making $0. And you're just like, there's always so many of these people that have these kind of like juvenile ways of like looking at everything. The minute they're in charge of anything, there's actually way more people that are in dire straits.
It's like literally college kid shit. It's like they've it's one thing to be in college and think that way. Be like, oh, whatever. Like you don't understand, but it's like to be.
Why isn't everyone rich?
Yeah, why don't we just give everybody 10 million? Remember who went on and he goes, there was like something and they go, that's enough money to give every American $1 million. It was some sort of bill, and they go, that's enough. And you go, what? It was enough to give every American like $100, and they were on the news and they said, this is enough money to give every like for the wall or something. They go, this is enough money we could give every American $1 million, and you go like, what? Like you think I can't remember who it was, some lady.
But you're saying the math didn't work out at all.
Fuck no, it was $100.
Yeah,
but she literally, and she was on the news. She goes, this. She was like indignant, and she was like, "This is gonna be the sickest soundbite ever. Like this is like what a mic drop. Like we could give every American $1 million." And you go, "Okay, you're a fucking idiot."
Well, so that's why I was like, they'll believe anything.
But also what I was saying with the confirmation bias is like, I saw that photo. Okay. And like, again, there's 50 photos. They chose one photo. And in that one photo, it does look like a whip. I honestly
agree. Yeah.
And there was a part of me, there was like a small part of me who goes like, holy shit, this is fucking insane. I can't believe that they're on horses in the year 2021 whipping people. And then all you need to do is go click on the comments. And within 10 seconds, instead of hitting the retweet, you go, let me look into this for a minute. And within 1 minute, someone goes, those are reins. They don't have whips. And you go, oh, okay. Oh.
No.
But because of the confirmation bias, people go, holy shit. The thing I thought to be the case this whole time is true.
Well, I look at Sean King's comments because like you said, he blocked it off from anyone who disagrees with him. But I followed him before I got in early. Mm-hmm. So I look at his comments and every comment's like typical.
Of course. Goes, I fucking knew it.
Yeah. They go, duh.
And now the funniest things is they have to backtrack and they go, okay, yeah, so they're not whips, but why do they have horses? They have to be like, horses their thing now. They go, why the horses? They go, I don't know. They have horses. It's weird, rough terrain.
Yeah.
It's like water and they have horses. I don't know. Nobody asks that when there's like fucking like a riot and they're whatever. They have horses in the city or there's like a parade and they go, what are these horses doing?